Today I learned the craziest shit. As you know, I talk a lot about how many countries have really bizarre, irrational laws around towards minor sex offenders. And I just learned that today that in Sweden, which is supposedly a modern country with rational laws, apparently not, you can be considered as more suited for working with minors if you committed assault, like you actually hurt someone, caused physical damage to someone, than if you have, like, for say, touched some 17-year-old on the butt. Let's compare that. Let's say this. Let's say that one person has assaulted a 17-year-old, like caused actual physical damage to them, maybe made them unable to move a hand or a foot for 1 week. And then we have another who's all just bopped. Just bopped a 17-year-old on the butt. Then according to Swedish law, which again, this is completely irrational and crazy, the thing that the person who has bopped a 17-year-old on the butt, they are completely inconsiderable for working with children, but the person who has assaulted is perfectly fine for working with children, which doesn't make any sense because one has caused way more damage. And then I tried to understand why this is, like, how does this make sense? And then I found that it's about PTSD and mental triggers, which is completely absurd to me. Like, once we start making laws and rules around adjusting society for people's personal triggers, I mean, unlike the only one, like mental trigger, neurological trigger, I consider rational to, like, say that people, like, if you cause, or no, actually not even epilepsy. There's not. No, not even epilepsy. I don't think society should adjust around any, like, mental triggers. Like, you can't, to cause someone's trigger, activate someone's triggers, like, that to me is absurd. I just don't understand how you're gonna have a society with laws around adjusting for people's triggers. That's completely absurd to me. And what bothers me so much about this is that it's taking years and years and years of people's lives and just making things so, slowing things to a crawl because of these completely irrational, super weird laws that I keep finding in Swedish. Like, what? This is a modern society in which, again, I repeat, if you, like, punch a 17-year-old hard in the face, you can get less, you can be considered more suited for working with children than a person who has bopped a 17-year-old on the butt. And that, to me, that's just completely crazy. To me, as an academic, I grew up in academia, I grew up around other academics, and I grew up in culture in which people were supposed to be very curious, very impulsive, not too impulsive. And basically the way in culture I grew up, it was all about how much physical damage you caused to someone, which decided if you were appropriate. Like, if you had caused someone so much physical damage that they had developed chronic ailments, like put someone in a wheelchair, then you're considered not suited to work with minors. But here's these people who say that if you have bopped a 17-year-old on the butt, then you are considered completely unsuitable for life to work in minors. And just, I don't understand it at all. I said, I grew up around academics, rationalists, always thought that you always were supposed to pay for, everything was always relative to a physical damage you have done. And all of a sudden there's all of these mental triggers, and I don't understand this. I mean, how much must people be paid for mental triggers? To me, you just can't write laws about this stuff. Like, oh wow, if you touch one in one specific place and you cause this mental bug, this glitch in their brain to activate, to me, that's not something you can write laws around. That's absurd to me. What? To me, it's always about the damage you have done. Oh, I'm not so bothered by this because, as I said, this is slowing things really down. I have a bunch of, like, mates I know who are, like, towards minor sex offenders because, like, they're curious people, you know, academics, love the internet, love science, and lots of them have, like, done sex crimes towards minors, but none have done assault towards minors because they're not violent types at all. They're extremely calm, extremely precarious. They wouldn't hurt a fly, but, like, they're quite, like, uninhibited when it comes to, like, they don't care about societal stigmas like religion or other stuff like that. I'm just so bothered by it, as I said, because it's taking so many years of people's lives, slowing things to a crawl. Like, I think, like, even again, my ultimate goal is that torture minor sex offenders should be able to work with minors because, well, they haven't done barely any damage, and I think adjusting society around triggers is stupid because what the hell? You can't measure that. Once you start having a society just around people's triggers, then what even is justice anymore? Like, how much should people get paid and whatever? It's just whoever cries more, whoever cries and complains the most. What kind of justice system is that? Where we're constantly trying to measure how much mental hurt people are, like how sad people are, how depressed people get. Like, what? I don't want that. That's crazy. What the hell is this? Sorry for the rant, but I just can't believe that all of these crazy rational laws have been put into a system here in Sweden, modern Sweden. I'm just bothered by how slow everything goes in modern times. It should go faster, like, it doesn't. It's just brain-dead empty moralism. Well, things move forward, they move forward, but slowly. I'm sure eventually I will get my eye for eye rationalist justice system that I want, in which people pay for the damage they do, not for thought crime. I'm so tired of thought crime in the justice system. Like, for example, a drunk driver who kills someone, like the damage you have caused there is taking someone's life, isn't life in prison. Why is that? Because you didn't think about killing someone. And that, again, it's all so much of this absurd shit about thought crime. Like, no, he didn't commit the thought crime of killing someone. What? If you do not take the steps you're supposed to take in a vehicle and you kill someone, then you are to get life in prison. Justice is about people paying for the damage they've done, not about thought crime, not about how bad the thought of it is, how hellish the thought is, what they were thinking when they did the crime. It's just, it's about when it comes to that sort of stuff. Like when you was talking about manslaughter, there's manslaughter with fault and manslaughter without fault. Of course, if you manslaughter without fault, like if you drive under the speed limit and someone runs suddenly around the corner, like runs onto a highway, then of course that's not your fault. But if you were speeding way past the speed limit and the person is just slowly walking but looking left, right, and you aren't respecting, you get life in prison. I'm so tired of thought crime in justice system. You are supposed to pay for the damage you cause, not for thought crime, not around people's triggers. What the hell is that? How you can't even measure that? That's so stupid. Ugh. The people who are not suitable for working with children are people who have caused chronic ailments, physical, mental ailments. You can't measure that. That's super stupid. Like saying that, oh, he has mentally handicapped me for life. What? You can't measure mental damage. That's so stupid. Like when people say that that a person who has put a child in a wheelchair when they say that is sort of the same as like touching someone on the butt, like bopping someone, just so you know, like an 18-year-old bopping a 17-year-old on the butt on the bus. It's like but they mentally handicapped the child for life. Like, we can't adjust society around people's mental triggers. I'm so tired of this because all of my academic friends I have who have been victims of sex offenders, there are many who do not agree with this view of becoming mentally handicapped for life. Like, that is just you prolonging it, projecting it. It's projection, it's nonsense. Mental damage is just projection and nonsense, and you can't measure it. Physical damage, that is concrete, objective. If you put a child in a wheelchair, that is chronic ailment, very serious chronic ailment, and you are not suited for working with children because people want to grow, not shrink. And once you have caused chronic ailments, serious ailments, then you're not suited for children. If you have caused temporary ailments, like if you touch someone on the butt, that doesn't cause like any damage at all. If you punch a child, which is more serious, it is more serious, stop joking with me, then you're not suited for a while, because eventually the child will heal from the damage. And well, if you put a child in a wheelchair, then you can work with children. That's the scale. The physical damage you cause decides how suited you are for working with children. And again, mental damage, what is that? You can't measure it. If I bop you on the nose, or I bop you here, and I bop you on the butt, like, and then if you bop on the butt, then you can't work with children for life. I don't get that, because apparently bopping, if an 18-year-old bops a 17-year-old on the butt, then they are mentally scarred for life, which is pure projection. You're not handicapped for life. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ugh. As you can see, I'm really bothered by this, because it's slowing society to a crawl, and it's just stupid. It's stupid, irrational nonsense. I just don't get where this stuff comes from. But anyways, it's Christianity making people think about thought crime, and I don't care about thought crime, because I'm a rationalist. I just want people to pay the damage they caused. Like, if someone comes and beats me, then I want them to pay for whatever damage they caused by beating me. If they broke my nose, they pay that medical bill. If they break my arm, they pay that medical bill. If they play a really, really loud sound to my ear, then they pay for that disability, which is maybe even more. That's justice. That's irrational. Get away the triggers. I don't want any of the triggers. All of the mental damage stuff, you can't measure that stuff. That's nonsense. Oh, I guess it's stupid. Like, no. Who? Like, I was a child once myself. Like, and I remember some old teenagers walked past me, and they bopped me on the butt, because they thought I was gay. They said that when you dress colorful, then you are gay. I am not gay. I didn't get scarred for life. I was like, that was rude. Why did you do that? I didn't. What? I am just so mad at this. Again, you can't bullshit me, because I was once a child myself, and I know what causes chronic ailments and what doesn't. Chronic mental ailments? No. If someone bops me on my butt, I didn't care. Yeah, I'm bothered. Yes, see you in the next video. That's all for today. Jesus, man, what a society.